Okay, so why that movie? You know what I'm talking about. Suddenly, I Know What You Did Last Summer is like everywhere again,
Hmm.
popping up in your feeds. Maybe friends are mentioning it. You might even find yourself humming that theme song.
Yeah, it's definitely having a moment, isn't it?
It really is. It feels, I don't know, a bit surprising for a classic 90s horror flick to just surge back like this. So
Right.
today, that's what we're doing. We're going to take a deep dive.
You're into it.
Yeah, figure out why this specific film has kind of clawed its way back into the conversation. Our mission really is to unpack this mysterious return using the sources you've shared with us to understand, what's happening right now.
Sounds good. What's a fun one?
So for anyone who maybe missed it the first time around or needs a quick refresher, I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's basically the quintessential 90s teen slasher, right?
Absolutely. Textbook example.
Mm-hmm.
It hit screens back in '97.
And the cast. I mean, talk about defining an era. You had Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Brian Philippe, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, peak '90s heartthrobs and horror icons all rolled into one.
Exactly. And the plot itself is, well, it seems simple at first. 4 friends, a car accident.
They hit someone.
And they make that awful decision, the cover-up.
The big secret.
Right. And then, boom, a year later, someone starts stalking them. Someone who, well, the title says it all.
Knows what they did. Yeah, it's that chilling hook, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Past mistakes coming back to haunt you.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
All wrapped up in that very specific '90s aesthetic.
Totally.
But what's really interesting, I think, is how it didn't just exist in that time. It really helped shape it.
How so?
Well, our sources point to it being a really significant part of that whole '90s horror revival wave.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just another slasher film dropped into the void.
Okay.
Its timing was crucial. It came out hot on the heels of Scream. You know, the movie that completely blew the doors off the genre again.
Right, the meta one.
Exactly. So Scream kind of reset the rules, and then I Know What You Did Last Summer came right after and really cemented that formula.
Okay.
It proved there was a massive appetite for these kinds of teen-focused, star-studded horror stories. It was a key player.
Okay, that definitely explains its original impact,
Yeah.
but here's where it gets really interesting for me.
Uh-huh.
Why now? We're talking decades later. It's not just, something people pull out on VHS for nostalgia nights. It feels actively present again. What's the engine behind that?
Yeah, that's the core question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not just random chance. Our sources show some pretty clear reasons, probably the biggest one, that reboot series.
Oh, yeah, the Amazon Prime one from 2021.
Exactly. That alone put the title right back in front of people's eyes. Got our fans talking, brought in new viewers. That was a major catalyst.
Makes sense.
And beyond that, you can actually see the interest bubbling up online. Like, it's been popping up quite a bit in recent Google Trends searches. People are actively looking it up.
Huh.
But maybe the most powerful driver, especially for reaching a whole new generation, has been TikTok.
Ah, TikTok. Of course.
Oh, yeah. Clips from the movie, short moments, iconic lines, sometimes turned into memes. They're all over the place. It's introducing the film to Gen Z, loads of whom weren't even born when it first came out.
So they're discovering it through these little bite-sized pieces.
Pretty much. And they seem to be latching on to the aesthetic, the drama.
Yeah.
So you've got the reboot, the search interest, the TikTok virality. It all ties together. It's reviving interest, especially with Gen Z, and it plugs into that wider '90s nostalgia wave that's been going on. That's probably why you, listening right now, might be bumping into it more often.
Right. It's this whole ecosystem. TikTok acting as a sort of gateway drug to 90s horror.
You could put it that way, yeah.
Okay, so thinking about its origins again. You mentioned it came right after Scream. How did it manage to stand out? Did it just ride Scream's coattails, or did it carve its own niche in that whole 90s slasher boom?
That's a really good point to dig into.
Yeah.
Connecting it back to that broader '90s horror revival.
Yeah.
Yes, it absolutely benefited from Scream paving the way. It reinforced what Scream started.
Okay.
But it did it differently. Scream, as you said, was very meta, very self-aware, winking at the audience about horror tropes.
Yeah, breaking them down.
Right. I Know What You Did Last Summer. It played things a bit straighter, more earnest maybe. It kept that core teen slasher appeal, the attractive young cast, the high stakes, the whodunit mystery.
But less of the wink-wink, nudge-nudge.
Exactly. It stripped back some of that heavy meta-commentary and delivered a more sort of straightforward suspense thriller. It showed that audiences didn't just want the deconstruction. They still loved a good, solid slasher scare, too.
So it wasn't just a follower. It kind of solidified the other side of that revival coin.
I think that's a great way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
It became a really vital part of what '90s mainstream horror looked and felt like.
That makes a lot of sense. It offered a different, maybe slightly less ironic flavor. Okay, so this brings up a bigger question then, doesn't it? Why do older horror movies, or just pop culture stuff in general, seem to cycle back like this?
Hmm.
We've seen the specific triggers for this movie, the reboot, TikTok doing its thing, that 90s nostalgia,
Right.
but our sources seem to hint it's maybe something deeper than just, a trend.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond those immediate drivers, there might be a deeper current at play. Think about the core theme of the slasher genre itself, especially this one.
Secrets coming back to bite you.
Exactly. Hidden secrets, past actions having consequences, often really bloody ones. That whole idea might feel extra potent today.
How so? In what way?
Well, think about living in an age of social media, constant digital footprints, cancel culture debates. The idea that something you did or said in the past can resurface and have massive repercussions. That's not just a movie plot anymore, is it?
Yeah, that's true. It feels very current.
It's a kind of primal fear, maybe made hyper-relevant for today's world. Whether it's 1997 or now, the thought that your past isn't really past and that some external force might expose you or punish you for it, that's still pretty terrifying.
But core fear resonates, even if the clothes and hairstyles change.
Precisely.
Hmm.
And add to that, the 90s aesthetic itself seems to hold this real charm for younger generations, like Gen Z. Maybe it looks like a simpler time, I don't know, but it still dealt with anxieties they can relate to.
And maybe. Is there also a layer of, like, camp appreciation or irony? When younger audiences watch these older films, it feels like they sometimes embrace the drama, but maybe with a bit of a knowing smile.
Oh, absolutely. Our sources definitely point to that being part of the mix. It's not always just a straightforward nostalgia trip. It's often an active kind of re-engagement.
Active re-engagement.
Yeah, like they appreciate the film style, the tropes, the sometimes over-the-top moments because they're retro. There might be a comedic element to how they view it, but usually still with respect for the actual scares. It's kind of a nuanced way of enjoying it.
That's fascinating. So it's not just passive watching, it's interacting with it in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up for you, our listener. What we're seeing with I Know What You Did Last Summer isn't just some fluke. It seems like a real convergence of factors.
Yeah, perfect storm, like you said earlier.
Right. You've got a timely reboot, kicking things off again. You have the incredible power of platforms like TikTok to basically resurface and repackage old content for totally new eyes.
Definitely.
Plus that whole general wave of 90s nostalgia washing over everything. And then, like we just talked about, these core themes, these primal fears about secrets and consequences that the slasher genre nails. They still hit home. Maybe even more so now.
It all comes together.
Yeah. So this film, which was such a product of its time back in 97, has somehow managed to find this whole new relevance. It's not just a cult classic anymore. It's actually part of the current pop culture conversation.
It really is proving its staying power.
So what does all this mean in the end? I guess maybe it's just a reminder that some secrets, they really don't like staying buried, whether that's in a movie plot or just waiting in our cultural past to be dug up and looked at all over again.